guys, welcome back, and hello if you're new. Today is the first video in my Makeup Declutter series for 2021. I'm super excited to go through my entire makeup collection and just do a sort of reset. I love starting fresh in the new year, and because I am constantly either receiving some products here and there or purchasing products to review on my channel, I tend to accumulate a lot of products. This is obviously way too much makeup for one person, but if I wasn't doing what I'm doing here, obviously it wouldn't be probably this big. I don't know, maybe it would be. I do love makeup products, and my makeup collection is cruelty free, so if you want to stick around and see more cruelty free content on my channel, make sure to subscribe. I will also create a playlist for all of these decluttering videos. I'm not sure how many I'm going to be doing, but this is the first one. So in today's video, I'm going to tackle primers, foundations, setting sprays, setting powders, tinted moisturizers, that whole category, and maybe even eye primers as well. So like the base products. So as a disclaimer, please don't ask me for my used makeup. I'm going to try to donate what I can if possible. A lot of things have been heavily used in my collection, and it just is what it is. So I'm going to try to pass things along to either friends or family if they want it. I don't really have that many people that I know that are that crazy about makeup like I am. So let's dive right in. Someone was barking at the door, so I had to grab her. So grab a drink, grab a snack. This might be a long video. Grab your fur baby and let's do some makeup decluttering. I love doing these videos. I love watching them. Wish us luck, honey. Wish me luck. You gonna wish me luck? Yeah, okay. Let's declutter. Let's get started. We're gonna start with face primers. I only own 5. I know if you're new here to my channel, primers are not my favorite. I hate trying primers. I'm just not into it. They never work for my skin. So let's start over here. This is one of my favorite primers of all time. Out of everything here, out of all the primers I've tried over the years, this is still hands down the best one ever. It's from Too Faced. It's the Hangover RX primer. I love this. This is just the Travel Mini. This was in my recent Project Pam for 2021. If you guys missed those videos, definitely check them out. This is almost gone. I do have a full-size backup, so I definitely will be opening that up once I finish this, keeping 100%. This I'm still unsure about. It's the Milani Skin Quench Hydrating Primer. It has hyaluronic acid and coconut water. The one thing I noticed when I use this is that it feels really greasy, like very oily on the skin. I just don't like how it feels. So I'm going to revisit this and try it a few more times with a few different of my foundations. And if I don't like it, it's going to go. So I'm going to give this one final go around before I declutter it. So that's kind of in the maybe pile. Next up we have this one from Essence. This is also new and I love this. Definitely keeping. It's the Skin Leave-In Sensitive Primer, moisturizing and nourishing. This is fragrance free, no silicones, no parabens, and no mineral oil. This is fantastic, you guys. If you have very sensitive dry skin like myself, get this. This is so affordable, cruelty free, great for sensitive skin, so moisturizing too. It's like a moisturizer and a primer all in one. The e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer, love this. It smells like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. This is a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, which I actually don't like. I actually prefer this drugstore dupe over that one. I love this so much, I already bought a backup. And this one I think I'm going to let go of because I remember in my last declutter last year in 2020, the Poreless Putty Primer. I don't know about you, but these like pore filling primers never work for me. It might be way past the expiration date. I'll have to look into it, but this is gonna go. It's just been sitting literally for an entire year. So I should have probably decluttered this last year in my last declutter, but that's all right. I'm gonna pass that along. So getting rid of one primer, keeping 4, possibly getting rid of this one, but these 3 I really do love. All right, so first up we have the AOA Studio Soft Base Eye Primer in the shade Nude. I was so excited when this came out. I purchased it like immediately because I love Shop Miss A. If you're new to my channel, I love Shop Miss A. The AOA Studio line is cruelty free. I've done so many Shop Miss A reviews on this line of products, the AOA Studio line. So definitely check out my channel. I think I have a Shop Miss A reviews playlist and a haul playlist as well. I love the formula. I love how it goes on. It does cancel out redness and veining on the eyelids, but my eyeshadow always creases, like no matter what. I'm actually going to hang on to this because I am doing a full face of Shop Miss A, but once that video is done and uploaded on my channel, I'm actually going to declutter this because I really don't like it. Next up, we have the Milani eyeshadow primer. This is hands down my favorite eyeshadow primer. And it's funny because I actually used to hate this, but as you can tell, it's almost gone. Definitely going to keep this. I already have a backup ready to go. This is a new purchase. I think it used to be $1 and now it's like $2 or $3. Has a doe foot applicator. I fell in love with this all over again, so I definitely want to get multiple backups. I'm so afraid that they're going to discontinue this. A lot of my favorite e.l.f. products have been discontinued this year. If you see this at the store, get it. It's fantastic. A few little swipes across the eyelid, pat it out. It dries down, locks into place, and I love it. All right, this is a glitter primer. This is from Glam Goth Beauty. This is the Diamond Primer. So this is a glitter glue. And again, you get so much product. There's 15 mils. It just has a simple doe foot applicator. And I finally got to try this indie brand this year and I am in love. I love Marley. She's just stunning. She does the most beautiful glam goth makeup looks. And her makeup brand, if you have not tried it, you have to try out. Her glitters are phenomenal and this glitter primer is the best. So these 3 primers I'm actually going to get rid of. These are both from e.l.f. It's the Putty Eye Primer. I have the shade Cream and the shade White. They have completely dried up on me. I used to love these, but now I actually don't. I used this one the other day and my eyeshadow actually creased. I didn't like the color. It's very yellow toned, which is total opposite. I'm more like cool neutral toned, skin toned. So yeah, I don't know. I think now that I'm in my mid-30s, I don't really like the heavy eye primers or using concealer as eye primer. I just can't get away with it anymore. So something very lightweight like these two, absolutely love and would recommend. Beauty Crop Stuck On You eyeshadow primer. This came in a huge glossy box advent calendar like last year. And every time I use this, again, my eyeshadow creases. It's really creamy. I love the undertone of this, but it just doesn't work for me. All right, so these 3 eyeshadow primers I am keeping. I got 1 glitter glue and 2 eyeshadow primers, and then these 4 I'm actually going to get rid of. All right, let's move on to foundations. We've got tinted moisturizers, BB creams. So I've got all of them laid out from the heaviest coverage all the way down to the lightest coverage. So let's start on this end. I have 3 shades of the Too Faced Born This Way powder foundation. I actually really love this. I am going to declutter one of them though, because one of the shades is too yellow, which is Almond. Beautiful packaging. This is so nice. Even though I have dry skin, this is beautiful. It's creamy. It's so finely milled and buttery on the skin. And once you set your face with setting spray, it just looks so gorgeous. My only complaint is I believe there is bismuth oxychloride. So I have Cream Puff, which is a little bit darker, which I love this in the summertime when I have a little bit of color to my skin. This one leans a little bit more neutral, which I love. And this one is Snow, and this one is like my perfect shade right now in the fall and winter months. So I'm going to keep these 2 shades and get rid of this one. Moving on, we have the AW Studio Pro Wear Foundation. I have 2 shades. I have Buff and Porcelain because Porcelain's like too pale and then Buff is actually too like dark. So I actually mix these 2 together. This is actually a really great foundation, super affordable. I think it's like under $2. We're gonna hang on to these for right now. All right, the other Shop Miss A foundation I have is the Buildable Satin Foundation. This is actually almost empty. I don't like the fragrance. This is pretty heavily fragranced. It does have a nice satin finish, but I notice sometimes my skin gets a bit itchy, and I think it's because of the fragrance in here. Again, sensitive skin, it really sucks, but it is what it is. Again, I'm going to hold on to this and just kind of decide after I do like a full face of Miss A and kind of like revisit these. I may end up getting rid of all 3. So I do like to revisit products just to make sure 100% if I don't like it. I want to mention these really briefly because I am keeping both. I have the NYX Pro Foundation Mixer in white, and this is the e.l.f. Mix to Match Adjuster in white for lightening my foundations if they're too dark. Hopefully, if you guys can find these, get them because they're phenomenal. If you're very, very pale, very fair skin toned, they really do come in handy. All right, moving on to more foundations. I have the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I'm in the shade Fair 20N. This is beautiful. Hands down, the best foundation, best affordable foundation that I've tried in a very long time. Next, we have the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. You can see the theme here. I prefer a more hydrating, buildable foundation. Nice medium coverage is what I like, or even a light coverage is fine. So I wore this the other day and I was really upset because I was filming a tutorial and it looked awful. It wasn't mixing well with the concealer and the powders I was using on top of it. Something about this formula is so finicky, and honestly, it's so frustrating every time I use this because it's sort of a roll with the dice. I'm letting go of this one. I know I told you guys in a video that I actually didn't like it, but the more I've used it, the more I realize it's sort of hit or miss, and I want something that's gonna work. I'm just gonna let go of it. I was really debating on that, but yeah, I'm just gonna let it go. I have so many mixed feelings about this product. I love the color, I love the coverage, and I love how when when I first apply it to my skin, it looks gorgeous, but let me tell you what, throughout the day, it gets really, really dry. It starts breaking apart and transferring, and I don't know. There's just something about this product. Now mine's almost gone, so I'm actually gonna just force myself to use this up. And maybe I'll try to mix it in with like a tinted moisturizer just to make it more doable. But yeah, this was a huge fail for me, and I was so sad because I love e.l.f. I love their camo hydrating concealer, so I was really hopeful in loving this. So many people say it's a dupe for the IT Cosmetics CC cream. I've never tried that, so I'm sorry I can't give my opinion, but this was a huge miss for me. All right, so moving on to my more lighter coverage, like tinted moisturizers and whatnot. So the first one I have here is actually a stick foundation. This is from Merit. They had sent me a beautiful package with all of their products, which was so extremely kind of them. This is in the shade Silk. I actually need to get the lightest shade, which is Bone, but this is so luxurious and beautiful. It just comes in a little stick. You just twist it up. This is so nice because it's so creamy on the skin, and I love this on days where I just want to use it as kind of like a concealer almost. I'll just apply this wherever I need coverage, set it with a little bit of powder, and I'm done and out the door. So on my like light, like my good skin days, I love this. It's creamy, it's long wearing. I don't know, I just love the concept of just swiping this on, rubbing it in with your fingers, and just running out the door. So yeah, I love this product. It's really, really nice. And I'm not a huge fan of stick foundations, but this one I do enjoy. Okay, so I almost forgot about this one because it was sitting on my dresser vanity area. This is a foundation I forgot to talk about. It's the Milani Screen Queen Natural Finish Foundation in 110 Cool Porcelain. Again, this is something new to my collection. I'm not sure if I love it or not, so I'm going to still keep testing this out. Forgot about this foundation, and luckily I remembered, but I'm also keeping this as well. All right, next we have the Fenty Beauty. This is the Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. I'm in the shade number 1. I really do like this. Again, this is really nice on those days where I just want a very light coverage. I want to do that kind of fresh model skin type of look, and I just really like this. I definitely need to pull this out and use it some more. Yeah, this is very nice. Definitely going to keep that one. Again, ColourPop is just killing it, you guys. I absolutely love this as well. This is the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. Obsessed. Like, this is so good. You get so much product. Very similar to the foundation formula, just a little bit more of a sheer coverage. So hydrating. This looks so gorgeous. I love this. All right, the last two we have. This is brand new to my collection. I just purchased this during a Black Friday sale. I wasn't going to include any Black Friday items, but I thought I would go ahead and include at least this and one more thing from the balm. So this is the balm Antidote Tinted Moisturizer. I have the shade number 10, which is the lightest shade, which is actually really dark. Just a warning, their shades are not the greatest shade selection. I will have to get back to you on this. I was thinking of doing a full dedicated review, and I also want to do a full face of the Balm Cosmetics, so I'll get back to you on that. But yes, I'm going to be keeping this because it's brand new. All right, last but not least, I'm also keeping this. This is the Away Studio Perfect BB Cream. This is so good, so underrated. It's $1. I have the shade Fair, and this is also a little too dark for me, so I do have to kind of add a little bit of my NYX mixer to lighten it, but this is so dewy and fresh on the skin. It's gorgeous. Like, this is so good. I cannot believe it's $1. So this is everything I'm going to be keeping. I know I didn't declutter a whole lot, but again, you know, like these products I don't consider a foundation, but I just wanted to include them in here. And you know, things where I have multiple, you know, shades, I don't really consider that like, oh my god, that's another foundation, you know what I mean? Because I end up mixing them and stuff. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 like foundations, and some of these are like, you know, tinted moisturizers and whatnot. So not bad. I like to have a variety. I love having like a powder, a BB cream, you know, like more full coverage, and then like a tinted moisturizer, you know, to switch things up. So I'm pretty happy. All right, so let's move on to concealer. Again, I don't own that many because again, I don't get that excited about concealers. It's just not something that thrills me. So we have the Too Faced Born This Way concealers. I have the shade Swan and Snow. I've decluttered all the other shades in my collection because they're all very, very old. I'm really going to try and use up as much product as possible this year because this concealer just keeps going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It's never ending. There's so much product in here. It's like a foundation. Still working on using these up. They were in my project pan and I just could not finish them. There's just so much product and the coverage is so good. A little bit goes a long way. So I'm definitely going to be keeping these. My favorite concealer, hands down from the drugstore, is the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer. I do not like the original Camo Concealer. It's way too matte. This is so nice, you guys. I have two different shades because this one matches me perfectly. It's Fair Beige, but then the shade Fair Rose is a nice kind of like highlighting shade to add a little bit of brightness if I feel like this is a little too dark. So definitely keeping these. They've been well loved, as you can tell, and I love them. I haven't really given this a fair chance because the color, do you see this? It looks like gray or green. I don't know why. This is the shade Fair 05W. And the only reason I picked this shade is because the one I did need to purchase, which was a neutral undertone, was sold out. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and I definitely want to try this again though in the right shade. All right, next we have the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I just purchased this directly from their website, and I have to say, have they changed their formula? Because I find that this is not as hydrating as it used to be. It looks a little bit more matte, but I do love this concealer. It is, again, another favorite of mine. All right, next we have the Essence High Beauty Under Eye Brightening Concealer. I'm gonna pass this on. This color is so orange, like literally. This does not look good on my skin tone. I was hoping that I could use this as like a color corrector, but it's just too dark. All right, we have 3 more left. This one I am going to keep, but I haven't had a chance to like fully review it yet. It's the it's from the Balm Cosmetics. It's the Antidote Concealer. I have the shade number 10. Comes in this cute little old-fashioned tin, so I'll have to report back to you on this whether I like it or not, but for now I am going to keep it because it's brand new. All right, these two e.l.f. concealers I'm also going to keep. I love the Flawless Concealer. This does not get enough love on the internet. I have the shade Fair Rose Doe Foot Applicator. This is so creamy and hydrating. So on days where I want a little bit light coverage with my Like, I'll throw on a tinted moisturizer and a little bit of this concealer underneath my eyes, and I'm good to go. Can't rave enough. And then this is the Flawless Brightening Concealer. This is probably something I won't repurchase, so I definitely need to finish this up in the new year. I'm not a big fan of the brush applicator, but again, this is very light coverage like the Flawless, and it does, like, this shade I have is light 23C. So this one has a little bit of a peachy undertone, which I do like to kind of color correct with this underneath my eyes. Alright, so I'm only decluttering 2 and keeping the rest. But again, there's a few of them, like this one I'm going to finish up, and these I'm going to finish up. And eventually I'll probably only have these ones here. So we'll see how things go next year. So that's it for concealers. Alright, so moving on to setting powders. I have loose powders over here, and these are all pressed. Alright, let's talk about these two. I'm very unsure if I want to keep these or not. I need to revisit these, but I have 2 really old e.l.f. under eye setting powders. This is the old HD under eye setting powder, which I used to be obsessed with. I feel like this one, you know what? I am going to get rid of this one. I find that this is more of a matte. Like, it's more matte than the original one. I was hoping it was going to be a dupe, but it really isn't. So I'm going to keep this one because it's an OG favorite. It's almost gone, so I do want to finish it up this year. So keeping that, getting rid of this one. So these are the 2 AO Studio setting powders. I have Soft Light and Brightening, and these are fantastic. Super finely milled. It's just a loose setting powder. I do find that the brightening one is a little too dark for underneath my eyes, and I don't find myself using it hardly ever. I think I'm gonna, give it another shot, kind of like revisit this product again, but I don't feel the need anymore to keep both of these. I do like to have a variety of brands to talk about on my channel, especially when it comes to like Shop Miss A, drugstore. So I'm gonna hang on to them for right now, but I am leaning towards keeping just Soft Light because this is light enough for underneath my eyes. This one is brand new, so I am gonna be keeping this. It's the Milani Translucent Light to Medium setting powder, I guess, in the shade 01. I did a full face of Milani, and this was a powder I just recently purchased, so I'm not sure if I love it or not yet. I'm on the fence about this one. It's not my favorite for the few times I've tried it, but I'm going to keep using it and see if it is something I want to hang on to. Same thing with the NYX one. This is the NYX No Filter powder in the shade Porcelain, and this is just pretty dark on my skin tone. This again is beautiful. It has a nice kind of like satin finish. It's super buttery soft, really, really nice. The color is just kind of off. I don't know. I'm not in love with it. I was really hopeful that this would be like my new holy grail. So I would love to try this again, maybe in a different color, but I think I'm actually going to pass that along. That's really hard because I actually do like it. I just don't like the color. This one I am going to let go of. This is the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. This just looks so dry and cakey underneath my eyes, and I don't like it. It's very smooth, don't get me wrong. Like, it's very smooth, but I just don't like how it looks underneath my eyes. But yeah, this I think is gonna go. I can already tell you I'm keeping these 4 powders because I absolutely love them. This has been my holy grail favorite go-to powder. I can set underneath my eyes, I can set my concealer, my foundation, whatever. It's the ColourPop No Filter Pressed Powder in Fair, and I am in love. I can't believe I haven't hit pan yet. Just ColourPop has really blown me away this year. Love, definitely keeping. CoverGirl Clean Fresh Powder. I am so excited that CoverGirl is cruelty free. Love this powder. This is the shade 120 Fair, and this is beautiful. This has a little bit more coverage than, say, the ColourPop one, but this is perfect for like touch-ups on the go. I will say I would like to have a shade lighter than this, but I think this is the lightest shade they sell. But this is so nice. It comes with a little powder puff, great for touch-ups. Sometimes I'll throw this in my purse. And CoverGirl just it just reminds me of being a teenager and going to the drugstore and picking out like a pressed powder from CoverGirl and a foundation. Oh, keeping. Love, love, love. All right, and then these two powders I am definitely keeping as well. These are the pressed version of the AW Studio Perfect Press powders. I have translucent in the shade Porcelain. This is so creamy. This has great coverage, and I actually have used this as a powder foundation. Like, look at that. You see that? Look how pigmented. Like, you can actually see that showing up on my skin, which is just nuts. This is fantastic. I just can't believe this is $1. Again, such a hidden gem from Shop Miss A. I also love the translucent one because this one doesn't have any color to it. As you can tell, I've hit major pan and it's just so good. It's really good. All right, so I'm only getting rid of 3, but I'm pretty happy with these powders, and I'm definitely keeping the things that I love. All right, guys, we've made it to the end of this video. The final category is setting sprays. I actually love setting sprays, and I love trying out new ones, and I definitely have tried a lot over the years. So let's start with this one because this is holy grail status for me. This is probably my second or third bottle. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. I love this so much. I just opened this up today, brand new one, because I finished the other one. This is so good. It smells like coconuts. It makes my skin so dewy and hydrated and fresh. ColourPop Pretty Fresh line is bomb. It's so good. Man, I'll tell you what, this is the Milani Make It Last Dewy Setting Spray. I feel like every time I use this, it's so heavily fragranced. It smells like really awful perfume. And this almost makes me look greasy instead of dewy. Like, this one makes my skin look so fresh and dewy. This just looks oily. I am very happy to get rid of that one. All right, so I have 2 bottles of the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. This one is just the OG original, which is a go-to. It's a favorite of mine. I do like this. I don't like the spray nozzle on here, to be honest with you, but it's such a super affordable drugstore brand. You guys know how much I love e.l.f. I just wish they would update the packaging. So I do love this and I am keeping it. I've gone through so many bottles of this. This, however, I'm going to get rid of. There's just a tiny bit left. You can hear that? Just a tiny bit left in here. This is the Matte Magic Setting Spray. So if you like a more matte finish, definitely get this one. But I just prefer this one. This one just tends to dry out my skin a little too much. So I'm actually going to be getting rid of this. I actually have a brand new one that I'm just going to like donate. So these 2 I am keeping. I love both of these and they're both really good. So the next one I repurchased after so many years of not using this and I fell in love all over again. This is fantastic. It sets my makeup and I feel like it helps it last a lot longer as well. This is new. This is the Hello Good Stuff 3-in-1 Face Mist, Hydrate, Fix, and Refresh with Watermelon Extract from Essence Cosmetics. I wasn't expecting to like this, but I really do like it. The Dew Primer from e.l.f., the watermelon one, kind of similar to that if you're familiar with that fragrance. So I know that my skin doesn't like fragrance that much, but this doesn't seem to bother me. I use this quite a few times. My skin looks amazing. So yeah, this is really nice. So I'm keeping these 4 here. Love these. Fantastic. And I'm going to be getting rid of these 2. So that was everything, you guys. I hope I did well. I'm pre-filming these intro and outro, so hopefully I did well on my declutter for today. Stay tuned. There will be more videos coming your way, and again, I will create a playlist for all of these videos. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you want to know the look I'm wearing, I did film a tutorial. It should already be up on the Balm Cosmetics holiday collection, the Balbina palette, ooh la la, and new liquid lipsticks. Go check that video out if you're curious what I'm wearing. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Subscribe if you're new. I post cruelty-free content here every week on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, all that good stuff. My links are always down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.